Good morning. All right, so full transparency, I checked my videos and I have not posted an update video in a while. I took them, they're in my feed. I just made a video. I was planning for that to be a catch-up video, but ended up being more foundational about sort of what I believe and what I'm doing here. So now we don't need to make that one here. This is gonna be a straight catch-up. If you've been here with me for a bit, thank you. I'm sorry I've been absent in a direct communication way like this. Like I said, I made some videos and I guess I didn't post them, but it also was a time to reset some things. So much has happened. It would be hard to capture in the 2 years. Like since I started this, I really was looking to find more direction in a professional role. I ended up going back to grad school. I ended up reactivating my coaching and consulting company. I'm going back for a master's in executive coaching and consulting. I think I have 1 semester left, and I think I'm going to change to organizational leadership. I've been learning so much, getting back into coaching. I'm working on a book with someone. I'm working on a branding AI off software with someone else, and I've discovered I'm actually really talented at making marketing materials for people, like business cards, flyers, websites, like making them appear fantastically awesome. So that's a new avenue for my business. I've been going on introducing myself all over the city in Colorado Springs, which is a tough city. It's a very powerful example of, this is like the Christian Mecca, and it's so depressed and it's falling apart. It's just an example of like Bible Christianity today, right? It lives inside churches and it doesn't even come out of its own doorstep. And the city is a mess. And you're like, okay, this is military, DOD, right wing, and there's no grace. There's an absence of grace in this city that is glaring compared to living anywhere else. I went up to Boulder, full of rainbows and hippies and all kinds, and like the grace and love was palpable. And I'm like, but this is what Jesus was about. Fascinating. So I went out and introduced myself. The deepest connections I've had are with people who are struggling with the Christianity in the city, and we can bond over that. And I'm really fascinated because actually I came to this city at 15. It's really where a lot of my trauma occurred and my life kind of split to go a new direction. And I'm like starting my new married life with my husband. We just celebrated our 3rd wedding anniversary. So very exciting. But strange to be in this city and starting out, and right as I was starting to sort of accept that I might have to start my business here, I didn't realize how deeply in conflict I was with that. Like, I have a complex relationship with this city, and going out and introducing myself, and I was like, okay, I think I'm finally ready to be like, okay, I'm going to be in Colorado Springs. We're going to heal this city. We're going to make it better. I'm here to heal it, Suddenly, my husband started getting shopped for a job in Las Vegas. So it's on hold. Of course, we thought it was going to happen really quickly. And as these things go, it's dragging out. And I'm like, okay, still very promising. Probably going to happen. Probably a really good chance. So suddenly I'm like, okay, well, the truth is I don't want to build my business in Colorado Springs in many ways. And so I've suddenly gotten on hold. But then I just joined I just paid $400 to join the Colorado Springs Chamber of Commerce. So now I'm getting involved in the government because I wanted to if I was going to stay. And for a business, it's smart. If I'm going to be a small business here, I want to know what's going on in the city. But literally the day before he started getting shopped for Vegas, I did that. So everything just kind of, the moment I get going, feels I'm getting put on pause. But at the same time, I can't complain because, like I said, I've really had this focus. One of the reasons I did start this channel 2 years ago is I really wanted to be ready. I've had this sense that I want to do big things. And that was before 2025 and watching the crumbling of my country, right? Where I think some of us are really going, oh, wow, it's really time to get busy doing some stuff. And I definitely feel called to that conversation. I'm one of those crazies that when things start to fall apart, I'm like, I got this. This is like my time, this is why you made me. But I want to be ready. As someone who is very empathic, and like if someone watches one of my videos online and gets upset, I feel it. That's how sensitive I am. And so one of the reasons I needed to practice posting online, I realize now, is because I needed to build that muscle. If I had been never on camera and just went to a protest one day or gave a speech and ended up famous on camera, I never would have been able to handle that sudden influx of energy when everyone's looking at you. Like when I watch those giant rallies when Trump and Hulk Hogan, God rest his soul, and Elon and all of them were getting down in those rallies, and you watch them at the podium and they're just like, oh my God, this energy on me. And they can barely talk. Like it's a legit thing because you have so many people looking at you. Everyone's so excited. There's so much that your body is like, and that's the case online too. That's one reason they're hooked on it. That's one reason you'll watch them constantly like tweeting and feeding that beast. So I needed to develop my muscle to handle the energy while also not getting sucked into the stream of like, oh, these hashtags hit, let's give everybody what they want. Or, oh, let's keep making the tweets and keep going. I learned you can really get sucked into that energy. These social media sites have a legitimate, I think, sort of addictive energy or type of energy draw. So I was building that muscle as well. I don't think we think of it as a way to do that, but it's really intelligent if you want to build those types of muscles, seeing yourself on screen, being able to speak in front of people, speak on camera. I never script anything. So for me, I have also been practicing being able to just say what I think. And then in long iterations, if I don't like it, I just reshoot it. But now I'm coming to the point where I can just say what I think and not reshoot it. And I don't have to need anything like something, a scripting, a teleprompter, like I'm connecting my heart, my head, my mouth, like that's what matters. And going back to grad school, I have to say, I might switch majors now, but this has been an incredible experience. Like I wouldn't change anything because the curriculum from Dr. Townsend is very sound when it comes to your own personal character development. And I can totally bring those tools into my coaching as well. But it has shifted me along with all this other work I've done so that I can be ready, which has really been my big ask, is to be ready so that if I do have the opportunity to lead or speak, that I don't do damage. That's really been a big goal of mine, that I'm ready to be whole and expressed and feel when I speak confident about what I'm saying. Because look, there's always going to be a cost. This is what I've learned. Like my big focus the last 6 months has been, actually I've been working with a trauma practitioner. I should throw that in, some wicked trauma work that has really helped me identify. Like we don't always realize how the, people call it the adversary, but gets involved in your own mind, how you get in your own way with all these like whispers and limiting beliefs, we call them, and the inner critic or the inner judge. There's a million ways to label it. But I have found through this trauma treatment, you can get rid of a lot of that. So now I'm becoming very, very clear. And my big focus with the trauma treatment, you have to like pick a limiting belief to attack because it's kind of like a tweezer treatment. And my limiting belief was having the courage to speak my truth, even if it will cost me something. And especially as associated with my dad, but it ended up becoming my whole family. But anyway, just tweezering that out. And of course, posting online and then posting in the space of 2025, which I got on TikTok. Of course, you know me, I downloaded TikTok when they canceled it, I was like, wait a minute, I haven't tried it. And then I sort of made a bunch of dump sites and started practicing more antagonistic things. That's why I haven't been here for a minute. I posted cross-posted some things, but really working to experience people judging me for things that I'm not. That I realized was another part of me gaining my voice because I was so obsessed with being heard and understood for what I meant. And what you discover online is even if you say what you mean, no one ever gets what you mean. And so then you might as well say what you don't mean. And then it's like, wow, I'm getting judged for things. I think one of my worst fears was getting judged for something I didn't mean. Being abandoned by a friend for something that I didn't mean or was misinterpreted, which happened on this channel. I only gave this channel to 2 girlfriends. I kid you not. And I had what I thought was it. Okay, so one thing about making content, I'll give you a warning. If you post a video about anything you've talked with, so if you post a video about a topic that you have discussed with someone in your real life in the last 6 months, they all think it's about them. Well, I'm a beta tester, okay, so to know me is that I'm an obsessive beta testing sort of data hound. I love to test. I'm a researcher at heart, a data scientist, a computer system beta tester. I'm really good at that type of thing. So I'm always thinking of how to break things and how to test things. And so one thing to know about me is I like trying a lot of different things and figuring out how they sort of flesh out. So I talked to a lot of different people about the same topic. Well, then if I make a video about it, a little did I know they would all think it had to do with the one conversation I had with them when I've had like 100, because of course you come to learn that most people are talking to very few people in their lives. And I was working retail at the time, so I could talk to an innumerable amount of people about random topics for 5 minutes, right? I could beta test anything. And so anyway, I made a video about a topic. She thought it was about her and took it personally. And I felt it when she watched the video. And you know what caused me to end the relationship there was she hadn't watched another video on this channel. I didn't expect her to watch all of them. I was posting, my own process as I was learning to be authentic, but that she never even made a comment or was like, way to be super authentic, or I got something out of that. And then watches the one video I made about a topic because it pinged her, because we had a vibrational connection, and she's very much an attraction point for drama and chaos and hurt. She's looking for people to step out on her, and I can relate to that. But this has to be my channel about me stepping out, and that she made it about her was like, well, I guess that shows me about that. Because this gets to be about my process. Like if you're here, this is about my process, or was, not anymore. Thank you for being here. Now I have value I can offer you. One reason I didn't want this to get bigger and didn't post here for a while too was I love that you're here with me, but I don't want to torture people with watching something just that's for my own process. I do believe it will offer us value later as I grow in power level. Like, my husband's being offered this job in Vegas. If there's one thing I've noticed being here in Colorado Springs, is that I need a bigger pond. Like I'm too flashy for Colorado Springs. I got a shaved head and a mohawk. My branding's wicked. I'm wicked. And I feel like this has been a great place to cut my teeth and act like an idiot. But the truth is I'm not a new beginner idiot. But if I go into these spaces as I am, I'll be so intimidated, like full force. I'd be so intimidating that people be like, what the fuck is she doing here? Go back to LA or something. It's too much. It works in Denver. Like Denver's a different level. But it's been very interesting learning my market and where I am. And then all of a sudden being like, you know what? My power and attraction level is going to take me somewhere else, somewhere bigger and bolder pretty quickly. And we want to track that on this channel, but I don't want to torture you with hours of non-valuable content. And so what do I want to say to finish up my catch-up video? This has been an incredible gift, this channel. That's what I want to say. And if you're here with me, thank you. And I think we're going really fun places. So please stay. I plan to talk about Christianity as an establishment because I was raised by Dr. Dobson Christianity and have explored so much. And I'm willing to ask questions, and I have really good insight. I really tested out a lot of the laws of the universe. And that's what this channel was about, was shifting my beliefs from something spoken, like I would talk Abraham Hicks, but I would live, biblical Christianity principles like crime, punishment, hate, judgment, not really checking my emotions, my thoughts. So this channel has really been about resetting that. And I've made incredible progress, along with the masters, along with all the additional study and work I've been doing, along with the trauma work I've been doing. I think that's a big piece of this catch up is, it's ask and it is given. And this channel I started as an ask to really just be able to share authentically and start to get my voice. But the Holy Spirit, my inner being, whatever you want to call it, that tether, that holy tether we have, really pulled me forth and said, okay, now it's time for this. Now it's time for this. And I followed, right? Okay, now it's time for school. Now it's time to start the trauma treatment. Now it's time to leave my job. Now it's time to go out. No, it's been really inspiring me. Now it's time to come back and post here on this channel and start to truly share. And it's pulled me forth to so much healing, so much expansion. The energy I can hold, the wholeness I can hold is completely changing. My husband's completely changing. This work happens first, and then the outer world changes. And my hope with this channel was to capture this inner work. So when the outer world changed, we could go back and go, look, guys, this isn't some flashy accident, right? Like, we're doing the work. And what I mean by work is oddly relaxing and chilling out and getting happy and healing and letting go. And, what I found that I didn't expect is a lot of the folks that, I was close with are just going so hard, and I love them so much. But at the end of the day, they're unwilling to look within. And it's really easy to act like you look within. It's really easy to talk like you look within. But when you're with people, if they do the work or not. When you're with me, you know that I do work. And that's intimidating as I've come up against old spaces and places with people that I thought wanted to do work but don't. Because the work is about doing what's not easy. You don't get to boss people around. You get to tell people what to do. You get to ask questions. And coaching it's been so good to be back in the coaching program and have a call back to all of that, the empathy, the question asking. I think as I look at it, that program was such an important warm up to my additional education because I had gotten to more of a telling, closed off posture for many reasons. It was important at the time. But anyway, I guess I've rambled long enough. I just wanted to catch up a little bit and share. It's been painful. I've lost pets, family members during this channel. I didn't want to cry all the time on here. Had some painful holidays. My in-laws moved away. My family moved away. But I've built a real home with my husband. We are really bonding as a family. I've never had a home and a family, much less someone who unconditionally loves me like my husband does, much less my precious bunnies running around this house. Like, who knew you could have like a little spring meadow in your home by having little bunnies play? I should have that. I just got my bunny fixed. So my male bunny, Poe, bunnies don't do surgery well. And because I lost 2 of them last year, I was really scared to get him fixed. And I randomly did it, and he's doing great. Choo-choo. And so my little girl and little boy will get to play together soon, probably like another week. It's been 2 weeks since his surgery, so probably another 2 weeks. But our family is coming together in a whole new way. It's what I've always wanted in my life. And it doesn't fall in your lap. My husband and I have been working really hard the last 3 years because of just trauma and stuff we have, even though we're both great people and we're best friends and we're super bonded, but the bond is changing. And it feels really good. And I think that's what I just want to capture here, that hopefully I've done a pretty good job of capturing some of the mess. I tried not to get too crazy with it, but Abraham always says that when you really start to shift this work, like your whole world falls apart and things go super wonky. And I didn't want to believe that, but it does. Now we're getting to a more stable, fun part. And I wanted to capture that. I did, but it's humiliating. Like, nobody wants to post, like, I'm in the really messy phase right now because I don't have my shit together. But that's really what I've been trying to do on this channel, with a side of spiritual study, just because it's part of what pulls me forward. But we're going to take that spiritual study to a whole different level. So I think I've taken up enough time of your day. I love you. I just want to say thanks for being here, catching you up. Life is freaking good. It's going a whole new direction. I should add before I end, I am shifting faith bases now. So on top of I just realized that's happening. Isn't that funny? All right, I'll make that in another video. I love you.